just that one there. Now you can sit on that. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Not that I know of. Yeah.
Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
and gentlemen, welcome to Geneseo Stadium at BT Connor Reserve for round 6 of the 2026 NPL Victoria season. We have a massive doubleheader coming your way this evening, and kicking things off first tonight.
Welcome to the round 6 of the Senol Victorian NPLW. My name is Melissa Barbieri, and I'll be your host this evening, bringing you all the action from Geneseo Stadium. Hosts Preston Lions, sitting in 11th place, are taking on Alamein FC in 4th, and with a game in hand. Both teams coming off thrilling round 5 matches, where Preston were pipped 4-3 by Spring Hills, and Alamein scraped through in injury time with a penalty over Bentley Greens. Both teams will be keen on improving their performances from last week, though. Adam Coleg keeps his starting 11 from last week. Percy with the double leads the line with great support from Clayich and Holly Massey. Alamein make 2 changes, with Horton and Matilda Lowry coming into the 11, and Anais Josefsky moving to the bench, with Jessica Shilton out of the match day squad altogether.
Number 34, Rhiannon O'Looney. Number 29, Isabella Trujillo. Number 22, Eva Harrington. Number 41, Navleen Kaur.
Both squads looking to start the evening off tonight with some forward momentum, putting the ball into the back of the net many times in the past couple of weeks, but not managing to secure 3 points. Preston Lions. Starting lineup for Preston Lions: Harrison, Olsen, Klajich, Popovic, Filipovic, Massey, Yamada, Percy, Henderson, Edwards and Ditella. For Alamein, Templeman in goals: Bugias, Shadara, Leokopoulos, Tyson, Anastasiopoulos, Dustin, Lasky, Runnels, Horton, Matilda Lowry. As the sun starts to set here at Geneseo Stadium, the Preston home of the Preston Lions, welcome to this round 6 fixture of the Senol NPLW here in Victoria. Benches for both sides: Preston with Talevsky, Harrington, Trubiano, O'Looney, Kaur and Cabell, with Alamein, Tom's Wedge, Josefsky, Archdeacon, Cassimi, Bean and Kane. Preston Lions looking to get us started this evening. They're in their all-red strip, kicking from right to left on your screens, and Alamein in their away navy blue, kicking from left to right. Holly Massey coming to blows with Bugias early. That'll be an early throw for Preston Lions. Yamada forward to Percy, gets the flick on, looking for the run of Olsen. Alamein able to control possession early here through Templeman. Leokopoulos driving forward, trying to find the feet of Lasky. Swings it out wide to Anastasopoulos, but she loses possession, but regains it with forward momentum now. Runnels depossessed in the middle. The Alamein veteran Massey glides past the first challenge, but clipped by Runnels. Early free kick forward to Olsen. Bugias with the tackle, and it become a Preston. No, it's actually an Alamein throw. Preston will look to lock Alamein in with a high press here. Ball already out is the call. Be taken back for a throw. Yamada into Percy. She's got runs all around, but she opts to control. Back to Yamada. Evades the tackle of Bugias. Secondary tackles from Alamein. Runnels. Yamada. Massey. Cleared. Alamein can't quite clear the danger from Preston Lions. Little bit of wind here at Genesteel Stadium, maybe impacting their ability to clear. Henderson into the box. Dustin giving challenge with the 18-yard box within reach. Lasky going forward now. Edwards to cover. Preston Lions a bit disorientated in the back line. Numbers are everywhere. Alamein could capitalise on here. If they could get the transition moment to go, this is quite a big field for any team coming to visit Genesteel Stadium. Takes quite some time to recognise the space and the depth of the field that they have. Popovic pushing forward for Preston. Swings out wide to Klajic. Tries to regain some comfortable possession, but it'll be an Alamein throw. Lowry with the throw to Runnels. Runnels trying to find the feet of Horton, but it goes over her head and everybody's giving chase. Yamada and Bugias. Yamada with the clearance. Olsen drops it into Edwards. Bugias trying to capitalise on that dispossess, but they'll go out. Preston on the right-hand side through Popovic. Runnels picks it up. She can see the goal. She tries to protect it. No call. Yamada all the way back to her Harrison in goal. Harrison into midfield. Filipovic into Massey. Klajic back into Filipovic. Percy. She had the double last week. Massey. Edwards for Preston Lions. Preston driving through now. Tries to find the run of Olsen, but under pressure from Lasky. Goes out for a throw. Bugias under pressure from Olsen. Had to go all the way back to Shadara, but the clearance once again evades Alamein. Bugias attacks the ball, drives through the centre, well covered by Percy. Massey also giving chase. Anastasopoulos couldn't quite maintain possession. No foul called. Runnels with the through ball. Well covered by Popovic. Yamada for Preston Lions. They'll come away with it. Filipovic through the centre. Olsen and Filipovic not on the same page. Shadara, ball over the top to Lasky. Lasky's got time and space. She can get into the 18. Anastasopoulos in the box, falls. Picked up well by her Harrison. Shot on target. For Neve Dustin. Lovely pass by Lasky to find Dustin at the top of the box, but straight into the keeper's hands. If she had found the corners there, it would have been mighty difficult for Harrison to save that one. Ball into the box. Olsen. Templeman just had to wait to see where the bounce went. She timed it well to get ahead of Olsen. Horton. She can face forward here. She'll look to link up with Runnels. Yamada and Horton battling it out. Bagias with the throw. Olsen gets a flick on. Goes the way back to Edwards. Massey with the turn. On the half turn, she's got Percy giving chase, but front position from Shadara meant that Tupperman could claim comfortably. Leokopoulos asking for options in that pocket of space. She opts to go wide but can't be controlled by Anastasopoulos. Henderson with the flick on. Leokopoulos with the clearance for Alamein. Lasky glides past defenders with ease. Lasky, she's in the box, 18. Can she cut it? She goes for goal. Her Horison comfortably down to her left. Lasky had every right to go for goal in that option, but she did have Horton steaming into the 18-yard box. Perhaps could have drawn her Horison to the front post and put it in back post. Shadara forward to Runnels. Filipovic for Preston up to Olsen. Massey. Henderson. She can look. She plays it out to Klajic, the goal scorer from last week. Forces a great save out of Templeman. Klajic wanted to get on the score sheet once again. She chose to shoot. Templeman had to be ready for the challenge, and she was. She tips it over the bar, and it'll be first corner of the evening to Preston Lions. Klajic with the delivery, low and hard front post. Bagias with the clearance. Horton there for cover as well. She'll drive. She doesn't have anyone in her team for company, but she looks up. She can only see red shirts. She goes past Yamada. It's a full field sprint, and the ricochet off Edwards nearly goes in for an own goal, but without any help, Horton just decided she was going to take it on herself. She had a number of Preston Lions players through the centre there, so she knew that she had to keep the ball wide, but with no company from her teammates, she opted to go for goal herself. Corner number 1 for Alamein. Lasky to take. Ball bouncing, front post needs to be cleared. Only as far as Lasky again. In swinger. Her Horison front post. Dakota Tyson through the centre there. Just remaining vigilant, keeping possession for Alamein. Her Horison goes for the early pass, but Horton cuts it out. She can see the goal if her Horison is stuck out. Anastasopoulos, late challenge. Ball comes out with Preston play on. Massey, out wide to Yamada. Yamada back to Edwards. They can switch here through Filipovic. Forward pass to Olsen. Can't quite get the touch and play to Percy. Valentine Percy giving chase up front, trying to put the pressure on Preston Lions. Foul called on Anastasopoulos for Alamein. Edwards. Massey with the run. Left-footed cross into the box. Right idea from Massey. She did have Percy entering the box, but probably the early distribution meant Templeman had time and space to come and collect. Runnels with Henderson for company from Preston Lions. Runnels does well to find Lowry. Matilda Lowry pushing forward, finds Lasky. Once again, Lasky doesn't have many numbers in the box to help her, but good recovery from Popovic in the back line for Preston Lions means Alamein will get their second corner of the evening. Ball into the box. Edwards to clear, but only as far as the touchline once again. Geneseo Stadium, one of the larger pitches in the Senol NPLW, and it takes quite some time for away teams to find the depth of distribution they need to get into the corner situations. Henderson with the flick on. Lasky into Tyson. Massey with the cover and the recovery tackle from Bagias. Clears the danger for Alamein on that transition moment. Massey. Through Edwards. Popovic. Out to Ditella. Anastasopoulos cuts inside, but she's won a foul there for Alamein in dangerous territory. They'll look to set something up here in the dead ball specialist. Neve Dustin. Dunstan delivers. Runnels, the target player. Filipovic with the clearance. Lasky taking on Edwards. Cut across the box. Fumbled by Harrison. Preston Lions defenders doing enough to protect Harrison so she could have a second bite at it. Klajich switches through Edwards. Movement from Preston Lions means that Percy can get some time and space on the ball. Filipovic swings it out. Ditella drops it back to Klajich. Filipovic through the centre. Edwards. They'll stretch the play here, Preston Lions. Edwards trying to find a teammate in Olsen. Popovic drives into midfield. Percy can't quite collect. They'll need to get back into defence. Preston Lions, Alamein could capitalise here, but Henderson with the through ball trying to catch a high line from Alamein through to Olsen, but Templeman up to the challenge, sweeping in the back line. Dunstan tackled by Henderson, but it pops out to Lowry. Matilda Lowry driving inside. She tried to find Anastasopoulos, but a clip from Preston Lions just thwarted that forward foray. Tyson out to Horton. Massey caught on the ball by Horton. She has Runnels, 1-2 with Lasky. Lasky at the back post. Couldn't quite find Anastasopoulos. Great combination play from Alamein at the top of the box. A couple of transition moments there for both teams. Preston picking up the ball, trying to transition on Alamein, and then Alamein returning the favour, going straight to goal with some great combination play. Getting in behind the defence was Lasky, but couldn't quite get that finishing product. Harrison looks to go long. Massey controls. Horton clears. Ball bouncing. Lasky and Edwards going toe-to-toe at the top of the box. Lowry putting huge amount of pressure on this Preston defence here. Shadara picking up the ball for Alamein. Horton has time and space. She'll find Lasky. Shadara. Late challenge from Massey there. This is a card with Shadara getting a touch on it, going past Massey, and Massey with the late challenge will mean she'll go early into the book. Still 0-0 here at Jenna Steele Stadium. Huge doubleheader tonight with the men's team. Dunstan, ball into the box. Harrison punches, player down. Edwards clearly holding the head, so this will be called for a head injury. She'll be asking for some treatment, no doubt. Or she'll be given a moment to get up to her feet. As I was saying, huge doubleheader tonight. This first game with the Senol NPLW Victoria. Preston Lions versus Alamein, and then Preston Lions versus Avondale. Preston Lions will get a drop ball as they look to play out. Klage can't quite control the pass from Ditala. Alamein with the throw. Runnels into Dunstan. Dunstan cut out by Olsen. She'll look to charge forward. Well-timed challenge from Shadara. Henderson with the clip ball. Percy will give chase. She'll keep this in. Valentine Percy. She can get the ball into the 18-yard box. She's got Massey for company. She uses her teammate from England, Filipovic. Anastasopoulos. This will be another yellow card for Preston Lions in Filipovic, stopping a goal-scoring opportunity, transition moment. Stopping a goal-scoring opportunity with that yellow card. Pagias on the ball for Alamein. Shadara driving forward. She's got time and space. She looks to pick out Anastasopoulos, but it'll fall to the run of Matilda Lowry. She'll play the pressure. Dispossessed Ditella. Off balance was Anastasopoulos, but shot on target. Henderson bit relaxed on the ball right now. Preston, once again, Harrison gives the ball to Horton. Runnels can strike. Dunstan. Once again, Runnels reading the play the best. Runnels with the strike. Offside call on the return pass from Lasky. Preston forward, clipped out by Dunstan. Matilda Lowry to give chase. Percy with the foul. Leokopoulos, Shadara. Lasky switches out to Anastastopoulos. Tyson with the clip. Horton into the corner on the turn. Tries to win the corner, but the ball bounces out for a throw-in. Massey with the clearance for Preston. Olsen. Too much on it for Valentine Percy. Anna Leokopoulos. Spent a majority of her junior career at South Melbourne. Leokopoulos moved over to FE Emerging and travelled all the way to Bentley Greens before landing at Alamein. She can play in the centre-back position or in the midfield. Wonderful young talent. Popovic. Klajic. Out to Detella. Tries the 1-2. Lasky. Too much on it for Runnels, but Runnels will give chase here into the 18. Filipovic in the centre. Gets a toe to Massey. Massey drives. Olsen wins the battle with Bugias. Olsen, can she drive? Drops it into Henderson. Outside of the foot for Henderson. Probably not the quality that Preston Lions would have liked to have seen from the captain. Lasky is allowed to turn and face Popovic. Trying to screen the passing lanes. Doing enough Preston Lions to thwart Alamein in their forward advances. Henderson out to Yamada. Yamada glides down the line past Tyson. Out to Olsen. Olsen offside position though for Preston. Call from John Kyrgios to swap sides. Anastasopoulos coming out onto this right-hand side and Summer Lasky drifting out onto the left wing. Leokopoulos gliding through the centre of the park here. She can find Lasky, but the pass is short. Cut out by Detella. Butson, forward run. Tries to get a ricochet, but it falls to Horton. Forward run by Runnels. She'll follow in. Harrison doesn't quite. She gets a fingertip save to it. It is a corner. Eve Dutson asking for more numbers in the box. They're looking to crowd as much as possible. The delivery. Runnels with the header. Cleared by Ditella. Lowry with the follow-up. Left-footed strike. Harrison tries to go long to Clage, but Leokopoulos able to read it. Too much air on that pass. Filipovic through the centre. Horton trying to put the pressure on, but the midfielder does well. Swings it out to Ditella. Ditella driving through the centre. Percy stays onside. She swings it out to Olsen. Maybe an offside though. Yep. Certainly was. Unfortunately for Preston Lions, the original position of Percy and the pace of Olsen just had her creep into an offside position. Perhaps the extra touch taken by Valentine Percy just meant Olsen wasn't able to time the run well enough. Leokopoulos with the long drive upfield. Runnels controls. Horton. Runnels. Filipovic calls for handball but plays on. Massey touches inside. She'll look for the long range. She'll side it. Tries to play the through ball to Olsen, but it's ricocheted out to Percy. Valentine Percy holding up. She's got Massey for support. She'll use Henderson. Henderson can't control. Now it's Alamein's turn to come out away with it. Clears by Yamada. Clears the danger for Preston Lions. Shadara into Runnels. Runnels trying to control the veteran from Alamein, doing well to hold up play. Bring in her teammates. Lasky, Ditella, giving chase. Through ball to Anastasopoulos. Her Horison. Anastasopoulos just gave up the chase there. Her Horison was stuck on her line. She could have just come out a little bit further and put more pressure. She just relieved the gas pedal a little bit too early. Clearance from her Horison straight to Alamein. Popovic. Back to her Horison. Edwards. Alamein could possibly afford to press more in these situations. Every time the ball goes backwards, they seem hesitant. Preston Lions, this time Alamein put enough pressure on to win the throw. Nil all here in this round 6 clash. The Senol NPLW Victoria. Preston Lions at home versus Alamein. Both teams have had their fair half chances, but nothing to trouble each of the goalkeepers just yet. Some of the better chances going to Alamein though. Preston still in this one. Yamada. Klejc. Trying to find a different angle to try and find a forward pass, but Alamein with the quick pressure. Runnels Tries to flick it on. Filipovic. Henderson can't control. Percy. She can face forward. 1-2 with Klajic. Tries to find the feet of Massey, but the ball will bounce back into the back line. Edwards perhaps looking fruitfully for Klajic to make the run, but Klajic certainly not on the same page. Dustin. The right-footed flick to Lowry was well done. Detella didn't know much about that. But it falls back to Alamein. They'll regroup. Runnels with the supporting play out to Bugias. Bugias trying to find Anastasopoulos. Courageous work from Anastasopoulos. She goes all through the centre. Preston Lions doing enough to get a piece on it to disrupt her attack. Now the pressure can come from Alamein once again, pushing Preston Lions deep into their defensive third. Dustin, clearance by Henderson. Dustin didn't know much about that one, but still deemed a foul. Preston trying to find an option. Edwards, she'll probably have to go long. Alamein locking in. Bugias with the header. Percy trying to control. Tyson. Percy battling it out, but 50-50 challenge deemed illegal. Lowry into Dustin. The late match winner last week with the penalty in the injury time. Lasky comes inside. Clearance from Popovic. Lasky shielding. Trying to find Dustin. She finds her feet. She'll turn inside. Henderson trying to battle. Trying to win the possession back. Yamada with the clearance. Shadara with front position for Alamein. She'll look to pull the trigger, but nothing to trouble Harrison in the Preston Lions goal. Just over 10 minutes to go here in this first half. Still at a stalemate. Both teams looking to break this deadlock, possibly through a transition moment here with Alamein. Runnels with the ball over the top. Horton. Protection. Anastasopoulos. Ball does get a glance off the foot of Yamada, but slows it down instead of increasing the pace. Henderson with the flick on to Yamada. Yamada keeps it in through Klajic. This time Alamein can play forward quickly. Press from Preston. Just a little off tonight. Leakopoulos has time and space. She knows this part of the park well. She's able to play in midfield and in the back line. She'll find the run of Anastasopoulos. Delivery. Front post. Yes, and Horton finds the opener for the away team, Alamein. Some great play from Anna Leakopoulos, the centre-back driving through the centre of the park, combining with Runnels at the top of the box. Anastasopoulos out on the wing, and the through ball into the box, met with Horton at the back post. Excellent run over the ball and dummy from Lasky at the front post meant that Horton had the time and the space to put it away for Alamein. Preston Lion 0. Alamein FC 1. Last 10 minutes of this half. Now in the way of Alamein, giving them confidence to drive forward and put more pressure on this Preston Lions defence. Edwards going long, comfortable for Alamein to control. Clay giving chase. Templeman can switch the play out through Lowry, but can't quite find the mark with the distribution. Detella with the throw. Henderson looks to flick it on. Tyson. Ball falls to Preston Lions once again. Great pressure from Runnels. Runnels can turn. She'll drive at the defence. The pace of Horton will catch Detella. She'll have front position here. Anastasopoulos in the box. On the turn, Anastasopoulos. Edwards clears for Preston Lions. Pressure increasing from Alamein FC here at Geneseo Stadium. They've got their noses in front here, and it's just given them all the confidence in the world to play some combination football. Dustin cuts inside onto her left, finds Bugias. Bugias, one more pass to Tyson. Tyson clips it in, but Preston Lions able to read. Clearance from Olsen, met by Leokopoulos. The transition play once again for Alamein, capitalising on this sporadic defence of Preston Lions. Preston Lions will use this moment just to regroup, gather their thoughts. Runnels doing a mountain of work in the middle of the park for Alamein. Edwards switches out to Yamada. Yamada has the run of Klaic, uses it to find Henderson. Little flick around the corner from Olsen. Klaic in the box this time. Offside is the call once again. Alamein, very smart line. Able to catch Preston Lions in the offside trap. Shadara with the ball for Alamein. She'll look to play short to Dustin. Can't quite make the mark on the second pass. Olsen through to Percy. Shadara has the front position though and able to put enough pressure on Valentine Percy to win a goal kick. Chinatsu Shidara just getting a little bit too confident in that pass through the midfield, cut out by Preston Lions. They have the firepower up front, Preston Lions. Templeman with the fancy footwork to get around Percy. Preston Lions just not enough in that press to win the ball. They're putting an amount of pressure on Alamein, but they're using it, Alamein. They're using it against Preston Lions. Lasky driving through the centre. She has Runnels. She opts to go for herself. Alamein's ability to use the pressure of Preston Lions to draw them out. Horrison again with the long pass. Henderson flicking it on, but no one in the vicinity. Yamada in through Massey, but Tyson picking it up for Alamein. Dustin into Runnels. Edwards, Massey. Filipovic for Preston, gives it to Henderson. She's got time and space here. Henderson out to Klage. Offside is the call. Leokopoulos into Tyson. Flick on enough to get it to Lasky, but not enough to keep it in the park. To Teller. Back to Popovic. Cleared. Massey using a body well to protect. Forward to Olsen. Olsen with the clip. Templeman overruns it. Bagius will have to clear the danger. Last few minutes of normal time here at Genesteel Stadium. The visitors 1 goal to the good through a 35-minute opener from Horton. A goal scorer here on the ball at the moment. Henderson, well won for Preston. Then advantage played for Alamein. Forward pass cleared by Popovic. Shadara all the way back to Templeman. Still have a player down, but Preston Lions will pick it up. Percy with the strike. Templeman will play with her feet. She'll look to clear as Holly Massey needs to be really careful in that. Unfortunately for Filipovic, she's gone down with perhaps a late challenge behind play. She'll require treatment here. Opportunity for both teams just to calm the pendulum swing. Very much played on the counter-attack, both sides. Number of players asking about the offsides being called this evening. Preston Lions have 2 yellow cards. Probably two of the most in-depth footballers on the park with Filipovic and Holly Massey. They'll need to be careful for the next half as we ride out this first half. A 1-0 lead to the visitors, Alamein. Filipovic looks to be all set to regain and start play again. She'll look to come off and have a moment's rest on the sideline as Alamein get the drop ball through Templeman. Restart of play here at Genesteel Stadium. Filipovic re-enters the game. Leokopoulos puts her foot on it, plays through Shadara. Out to Leokopoulos once again. Leokopoulos, the mastermind, as we call for half-time here at Genesteel Stadium. Alamein 1-0 up here away to a Preston Lions outfit, just trying to counter the last week's results. They're trying to get their first win after 3 matches. Alamein looking to bolster and get the double from last week. We go into the half here at Jenna Steele Stadium. Preston Lions 0, Alamein 1. Welcome back to the second half of this round 6 clash in the Senol NPLW here in Victoria at Genestil Stadium. Preston Lions currently behind 1-0 to the visiting Alamein FC, thanks to a 35-minute opening goal by Horton. Some great play from Leakopoulos to open up the wide area for Anastasopoulos, and she delivered the deftly touch through the center of the box. Lasky just ran the dummy over it to provide Horton with the time and space to finish within the 18-yard box. Harrison doing enough to keep her side in the game, though, for Preston Lions, with Alamein having 11 shots. Preston with only 2. On target for Alamein was 9 shots, with Preston only able to trouble Miranda Templeman only marginally with 1 on target. The pendulum certainly swung Alamein's way in the first half before they opened with that Horton goal. Preston Lions going down with 2 yellow cards as well in that first opening 20 minutes meant that most tackles needed to be slightly edgier than normal as we get Alamein to start off proceeding into this second half, pretty much starting where they left off with nice bit of possession early on. Shadara swinging the ball out to Bugias. Anastasopoulos, no changes for both squads as we come into this second half at Genestil Stadium. Pressure from Alamein still high up the park. Preston Lions unable to clear their lines. Olsen tries to find Percy through the second centre there, but Lowry able to clear the danger for Alamein. Anastasopoulos using all her pace to pick up possession for Alamein. Tyson with the toe poke through to Horton. Clearance from Popovic for Preston. Only as far as Dustin through the centre. Tyson out to Leakopoulos. Lasky turns. She's got Matilda Lowry to her left, but she doesn't need her. Lasky across the box. Her Harrison doesn't quite get the catch onto it, but her good body position meant that the ball didn't fall through to Runnels. Her Harrison looking to start play. She puts the ball on the ground. Olsen with the front position, but Bugias for Alamein uses her body well. Dustin out to Bugias. Runnels. Late challenge from Edwards. Will be called back for a foul. Once again, the set piece for Dustin in a dangerous area for Alamein. The American usually standing over the ball, but bit of an interchange here with Leakopoulos. She's giving the signal. She'll set up play. The young centre back. Set piece driven into the box. Anastasopoulos with the flick on. Lasky getting front position. Lowry. Ball into the box. Runnels. Ball bounces over Percy. Well-timed challenge from Percy there. It had to be in the 18. Well done from Valentine Percy, the striker, doing all she can to keep that Alamein lead minimal. Leakopoulos with Massey given chase. Shadara, Japanese national, going all the way back to Templeman. Templeman, formerly of Perth Glory in the Ninja A-League. Leakopoulos driving forward. The switch cleared by Popovic. But Yamada still facing her own goal. She goes inside to Filipovic. Filipovic returns the ball to Yamada, but Anastasopoulos uses her body to shield out for a throw-in. Massey untidy with that pass, just gives it back to Dustin in the midfield. Shadara swings it out to Lowry. Matilda Lowry. Harriet Lowry on the bench tonight. Matilda getting the start this week with the injury to Shilton, the centre-back, unable to play tonight after going off in the second minute of last week's game. It meant Leokopoulos had to go into the centre-back position. And then as Preston Lions goes forward, Templeman will be able to pick up the pieces. Early throw to Pagias means she has time and space here. Alamein overran it a little bit. Well done by Yamada to pick up the pace for Preston and go on the counter. Olsen, she's only got navy shirts around her though. She tries to put one into the box. Percy giving chase, but really nothing Preston can do to get around the Alamein defenders. Great touch by Leokopoulos, just enough to take it off the toe of Percy. Maskey giving chase. Harrison able to find Detella. Detella now with the time and space. She'll swing it out to Klage. Klage with the pass through to Percy, and the late flag once again. A high line from Alamein, just timing it well enough to keep Valentine Percy offside. Just taking those 2 moments, Klage, to find her feet in order to make that pass, and just gave that Alamein defence enough time to step the line up before she was able to play. Smart work from Alamein FC. They hold on to this slender 1-0 lead here at Preston Lions, but they still look comfortable, the visitors. The diagonal ball from Leokopoulos, can't finding the mark. Preston looking to get on the counter once again. I'll drive through Percy. Massey makes the run. This one, a timed run. Templeman comes out. Enough timing from Templeman, but she doesn't go to ground and keeps her head out with Holly Massey trying to jump over the goalkeeper. Just clips her in the head. It'll take a moment here for Miranda Templeman to get some treatment on the ground. But this time, a well-timed run and a well-timed ball from Valentine Percy. Holly Massey unable to get a touch on it. She had every right to go for that pass, Holly Massey. And she did try and jump over Templeman, but Templeman had her head out. She tried to clear the goalkeeper, but couldn't quite make the distance. Templeman looking well enough to play on here for Alamein. Templeman hasn't been really troubled in goal this evening. Alamein holding a very firm line, creating those offside calls for Preston Lions. Templeman will go through Leokopoulos. Switches out to Shadara. Bragias, forward to Anastasopoulos, can't quite keep it in. Ball drift over the sideline. Yamada trying to get the energy for Preston Lions going. Henderson can't get the flick on. Leokopoulos finds that small pass to Runnels in the midfield. Lowry has Lasky cleared by Detella. Leokopoulos now, time and space. If Preston Lions can just give that little bit more pressure in those transitional moments, Alamein won't be able to find that deft pass through the middle, and it just splits them open with ease. Henderson on the turn. She's got the line. Tries to play it for herself, but Matilda Lowry with the smart defending, cuts off the run of Henderson and the follow-up. Lasky. Horton drops it off to Runnels. Runnels with the switch. For Harrison outside her area. She'll be able to calm things down, put her foot on it. Alamein quite content in allowing the opposition some time and space in this back line. They'll look to get organised in their defensive press before unleashing any pressure. Massey on the turn. She'll switch out to Olsen. Shadara this time cleaning it up for Alamein. Once again, that line from Alamein. Smart work, making Percy having to hold her run that fraction longer. Edwards looking to play. Doesn't quite get enough of it. Means Alamein are able to press. But press is called off instantly. Yamada. Popovic. Forward to Olsen. Chested down. Massey underneath. Filipovic. She has time and space to turn there, Filipovic, but she opts to go back to Edwards. Filipovic. Henderson now turns, goes forward. Increasing the energy for Preston Lions, but Lasky doing all she can for Alamein to regain possession. This time Horton has time and space. Can she deliver for Anastasopoulos? Back to Runnels. Runnels inside. Finds the pass of Anastasopoulos. What wonderful play by Alamein FC to make it 2-0 here at Geneseo Stadium. The composure from Runnels to find Anastasopoulos unmarked in the box. Lasky with the first up press to win back possession. Dominant display of football from Alamein FC. It's Preston Lions 0, Alamein FC 2. Horton was looking to repay the favour straight into Anastasopoulos, but she guided the ball at the top of the box to Runnels, and it was Runnels who found the run of Anastasopoulos to put it into the back of the net. Two different goal scorers tonight for Alamein FC. They're sharing the load in the goal scoring stakes, that's for sure. They're back on the attack here, Alamein. Relentless in their pursuit of goals. Tyson with the half volley, couldn't quite keep it down. Under pressure from Preston Lions. They're not far off, Preston. They're not far off being a great squad with great opportunities in front of goals, but they're just lacking the belief in themselves to turn and face forward and play the pass that needs to be played in order to split this Alamein defence apart. Ultimately, it's Alamein 2 to the good tonight because they were that little bit more calm under pressure, using the transition moments to their benefit. Once again, Alamein driving the press. Yamada coming out of the danger, finding the sideline. Alamein using the width of the park to their advantage. Spreading the ball from side to side. Collapsing the Preston Lions defence centrally. Opening them up on the wings. Horton opened up the scoring for Alamein in the first half. Anastasopoulos with the second. Runnels in the corner. Tries to find the ball into the box, but it'll just slide over the end line for a goal kick. Preston trying to create something going forward. Detella inside to Klage. Klage into Percy. Percy, just the distances between the players a little bit too far. But Olsen driving now. She has Yamada out left. Yamada can keep it in. Probably a little bit of miscommunication from Massey. Fortuitous for Preston Lions, though, as Dustin wasn't able to keep it in for Alamein. It'll go out for the second corner for Preston Lions this evening. Ball into the box. Templeman able to grab it on the second effort. She's calling her teammates. Leakopoulos. Ball over the top. Cut out by Detella. Detella with the follow-up. Klage trying to find her. The ball will stay in. No, flag is called. Whistle is gone. Preston will go to the bench for the first time this evening. Coming off, Alana Filipovic. And entering the game is Rhiannon O'Looney. O'Looney trying to increase the pressure here for Preston. Leakopoulos with the switch to Bagias. Bagias drops it back to Shadara. Runnels with the flick on. She gets it to Lasky. Lasky has time with the flick on, just being offside. Harrison with the long pass. Shadara. Leakopoulos. Inside to Tyson. Lasky once again, this time ball managing to get through. Hold up play from Lasky. She gets it into the box, but Preston Lions able to clear through Popovic. Flick on from Tyson, met with Bagias. Olsen with their own pressure from Preston Lions, trying to regain some sort of pressure on this Alamein defence. Matilda Lowry inside. Flicked on. Ball bouncing to Anastasopoulos, the goal scorer in this second half. Yamada for Preston. Out to Olsen. The young Kiwi. Pace to burn up front for Preston. Olsen. Klage. Forward run from O'Looney. O'Looney can look at goal. She's got Leakopoulos. She's got Percy behind. Percy glides into the 18-yard box. She'll pull the trigger. Well defended by Shadara. Leakopoulos calm under pressure. Klage driving in now for Preston. Combinations. Ball out to O'Looney. Can the substitute create something here? She ball into the box. Olsen can't quite get enough behind it to create any trouble for Templeman, but O'Looney having a great start to her minutes as a substitute for Preston Lions, increasing that pressure in the front third. Leakopoulos, the gaps in this Preston Lions defence, though, too large. Alamein able to spread the play with minimal hindrance. Percy gets a touch in front of Leokopoulos but can't quite keep it in. Alamein in no rush here. Reynolds back to Lowry. Lowry using the pressure from O'Looney to roll her. Lasky with the ball over the top. Yamada. Calls from Alamein to step. They'll put the pressure, open up the centre. Runnels can't quite get a foot on it. This time Preston using the pace of Olsen to get in behind this Alamein defence. Percy, can she stay on side? She's got Leokopoulos for company, and the ball back to Massive. Launched over the bar. Substitution here for Alamein. Players looking to enter the foray is Aeneas Josefsky and Jordan Tom's Wedge. Exiting the field is Dakota Tyson and what looks to be Matilda Lowry. Josefsky playing up top. Anastasopoulos has dropped down into left back position. Ball forward. Horton drops it back to newly substituted Josefsky. Tom's Wedge through the centre there. Ricochets out for a goal kick. Like for like substitute in Tom's Wedge, going into that midfield position for Tyson. But Josefsky out on the right wing with the left back substitution means that Anastasopoulos has, the goal scorers had to go into the back line. Shadara going all the way back to goalkeeper Miranda Templeman. And caught on the ball, Templeman, but just does enough to pull out of the challenge. Ball over the top, Lasky giving chase. Preston Lions caught high once again. Horton on the turn. Ball doesn't do enough to trouble Harrison in goal, though. Popovic drops it back to Detella. Popovic, Henderson on the turn. Massey, Clage gives the dummy, but only as far as Josefsky. Horton, Runnels giving chase, pressure for Yamada. Not enough to find a shot on target, but enough for a goal kick. Alamein will look to keep the pressure on here. Score sitting currently Preston Lions 0, Alamein FC 2. The visitors creating numerous opportunities for themselves, capitalising on the two with some deft touches in the 18-yard box, some composed play and combination to set up goal for Horton in the opening half and Anastasopoulos in this second half. Lasky, she's been great all evening, Lasky. Creating a nightmare for this Preston Lions defence. Anastasopoulos into Runnels. Tries to give it back. Can't quite head it in the right direction. Tatella. Henderson looking for the flick on. Lasky. Through to Horton. Horton has the pace. Cuts inside. Great defending there by Popovic for Preston. It's a bit of lack of communication with the Preston striker of Holly Massey. Unable to capitalise on that transition moment as well as they could have. O'Looney cuts inside, beats Anastasopoulos. Forward front post runs, not to be had. Ball into the box from O'Looney. Was a delightful one, but Olsen just stranded at the 6-yard box. Miranda Templeman able to gather quite comfortably under no pressure. Flick on from Horton this time. Lasky, the recovering Detella, doing enough to slow her down. Horton regathers for Alamein. Ball into the box now. Horton, back post. Jasewski, the substitute, trying to find something. Runnels with the dramatic overhead kick. And it does find a Preston Lions player to ricochet off to create a corner opportunity for Alamein. Just have to give it to Alamein. They're relentless in the box. Their ability to just calm and composed find a teammate in the 18-yard box. Jasewski riding at that back post. Even though Preston Lions were able to get a huge chunk on that, Runnels was able to dramatically try and find an overhead kick, but it's a corner ball for Dustin. She'll deliver. Runnels once again. Ball not cleared by Preston. This time it's an easy collect for her Horace, she has Olsen out on the wing if she can deliver, but the recovering Alamein player is doing enough. Massey collects. Drifting wider and wider away from goal, but she can gravitate inside now with Bagias with the tackle. Clears the danger for Alamein, but it will be recalled for a throw-in in the front third for Preston Lions. They're throwing all they can. Preston Lions they're trying to find a glimmer of hope in this second half to try and bridge the gap. Alamein 2 goals to the good through Horton and Anastasopoulos. Alamein still comfortable in that defensive line. Preston only left with rough edge chances, more in the vein of kick and hope rather than any real thoughtful process. Shadara just able to glide through the centre of the park there and find Lasky. Lasky deft passed into Horton. Horton and recovering Edwards with the tackle. Preston. Unfortunately for Preston, it's been called a corner. Alamein player has stayed down in the box in Horton. She won't need treatment though, she'll just need a breather. Great tackle by Edwards. Just drifted over the end line. Dustin with the delivery. Back post, Runnels collected by Percy. She needed to be there, Percy, to clear the danger. Runnels was hot on her heels with that header. Alamein, another wave, but Shadara coming from an offside position. Preston being asked to bring the ball back. And once again, play will halt for another substitution for Alamein. Entering the park, Priya Archdeacon and Setera Kasami. For Preston Lions, we have Natalie Olsen exiting the field and Isabella Trubiano coming on. And as we'll see, players for Alamein to make way. Goal scorer Horton. Zoe Horton exiting for Kasimi. And Priya Archdeacon waiting for the substitute to be called. And that'll be Anastasopoulos, the other goal scorer, coming off for Priya Archdeacon. Priya Archdeacon coming on at left back for Alamein. Kasimi, like-for-like substitutions at the moment. Anastasopoulos was playing at left back. Kasimi, Datella up to O'Looney. Kasimi able to control. Archdeacon guides inside, but Holly Massey opens up on her left foot. Well-timed challenge by Tom's Wedge. Runnels finds the forward run of Kasimi. Kasimi. She can deliver. Flick on from Lasky. She'll chase herself. Edwards. She's looking for the pass. O'Looney uses her body well against Archdeacon. She's now asking the question. Just not quite making that final pass is Preston Lions. Isabella Trubiano trying to get on the ball. Datella. Enough pressure from Kasimi there. Archdeacon with the Alamein throw. Forward to Lasky. She's got Preston all around her. This is the type of pressure that Preston Lions have been lacking throughout the whole match. And then once again, Edwards trying to find the perfect pass. Henderson forward. Substitute quite getting a toe on it, but Henderson will drift forward. O'Looney, she can deliver. A clip from Alamein and Percy on the volley. Just ain't able to keep that down, but it was a delightful pass into the box by the substitute O'Looney. Perhaps Alamein just enough onto it to take it off the path of Percy. Made sure she had to keep a watchful eye on it before pushing home. Another substitution for Preston Lions. Klajic and Ditella coming off. Then Eva Harrington and Elle Talevsky coming on for Preston. Quick fire changes for Preston Lions to try and increase the pressure on this Alamein side. players trying to play for positions in the starting 11 as O'Looney declared a little overzealous in that challenge with Lasky. Frustration just brewing for the Preston Lions players. Lucky not to go into the book there. O'Looney. Leokopoulos finds the run of Lasky. Full of running tonight, Lasky. Glides inside. Ball into the box. Back punch, Runnels! What a finish by the veteran Alamein FC. Long-term player. Big-time player is Runnels. Once again, Summer Lasky doing all the hard work in the wide areas and then finding a pinpoint pass. This time, Runnels on the end of it. She was provider of the second goal. Preston Lions 0, Alamein FC 3. Another quality goal by Alamein FC. The ball is rifled back into Templeman, but she's able to clear the danger to Lasky. Massey into O'Looney, back to Massey, can't quite control. Lasky once again doing the hard yards. Substitute in Ava Harrington, just pinning Lasky down. Not sure what the questions are being asked about that call, but trying anything Preston Lions in order to get a result here. Alamein using the time and space of this large field to their advantage. Lasky with the hold-up play, this time back to Bagias. Bagias finding Shadara. Once again, centre-back Shadara able to play. Kasami out wide. This time dispossessed by Preston Lions. Dustin in the centre of the park for Alamein, also a hard worker. Leokopoulos out to Jusevski. She comes inside to Leokopoulos. Alamein know if they just keep the ball moving, they'll be able to keep possession with no real pressure from Preston. Shadara able to spray the ball left and right as she pleases. She goes through the centre this time to Kasami. Jusevski out wide to Lasky. Called offside. Great line from Preston Lions, just able to keep Lasky at bay for one more time this evening. Harrington out wide to O'Looney, can't quite put enough weight on the pass to keep it in though for O'Looney. Lasky facing her own goal. There's no real pressure from the Preston Lions defenders. Too much on the tackle from Dustin. Preston Lions will have a set piece here. Will they look to set it up? Will they look to play quickly? To the last 7 minutes of normal time here at Jenna Steele Stadium. Preston Lions trying to call for a foul at the top of the 18. It'll start again here for Preston Lions. Referee just communicating with the fourth official, trying to find out if they saw anything of value. Ball into the box. Templeman comfortable. Templeman has the run of Jasewski. Preston Lions at 6 and 7s is what to do in order to break down this Alamein team. We look to the bench. One more as we see substitute Ginger Kane come on for goal scorer Emma Runnels. A goal and assist tonight for Captain Runnels. Ginger Kane entering the field for the last 7 or so minutes. Play resumes. Ball forward. Henderson dropping it to Massey. Massey out to O'Looney. Into substitutes trying to make their way into this game, get some touches onto the ball. Talevsky out to Percy. Massey. Henderson out to O'Looney. She's got players in the box to aim for. If she can just beat Bugias. Bugias with the dwell time challenge, though, out for a corner. Bugias just staying on the ground in this one. She's probably cramping. Asking for a substitution. Estelle Bugias. I find that she's probably got an empty bench at this stage, Bugias. She's going to have to continue on. She'll do so limping with Holly Massey to take this corner for Preston. Preston, that front post cleared by Shadara. Massey looking for the second one. Drives inside. Edwards with the flick on. Back post. Henderson. Leokopoulos able to read the bounce better than Henderson does, and she'll clear the danger for Alamein. As the crowd builds here at Genesteel Stadium for this doubleheader match. All eyes on this home side and how they can break down Alamein. Give this home crowd something to cheer for. Alamein here to destroy the party. Aggressive press from Preston Lions deemed illegal. Alamein will look to start again through Iliakopoulos into the corner. It's under 4 minutes here to go in regular time. Alamein still pushing forward for more goals. Holly Massey on the turn. Once again, can't quite control as well as she'd hoped. O'Looney keeps it in. She has Harrington in the top of the box. She goes back. O'Looney blocked by Bugias. Alamein not faltering, keeping this clean sheet alive in the dying stages of this match. After scoring 3 goals last week and still losing, Preston Lions will wonder what they need to do in order to win a match. Ball into the box. Miranda comes. Can't clear. Cleared off the line by Leokopoulos. Edwards will look to re-deliver. She goes wide to Henderson. Alamein just happy to clear it over the line. Long throw from Edwards. Cleared by Kane. Preston Lions can feel this bit of a momentum shift into their favour. Can they convert that into a goal? Valentine Percy with the double last week. Klajich not on the park. The other goal scorer from last week. Someone's going to have to put it into the back of the net. Will it be Percy once again? Yamada with the final touch, and Templeman smothers in the 6-yard. Templeman will go long. Only red shirts back. Ball will still fall to Alamein though. Dustin clears for touch. Yamada, smart play from the Japanese national. Some lovely touches on the line from Yamada. She glides past a couple of players. She has Valentine Percy on the left. Valentine Percy drifts inside, clips the ball inwards. Henderson on the return. Bagias limping, favouring that left foot, still diving in for tackles. O'Looney now, top of the box, Percy. Nearly a quality finish from Valentine Percy. She was looking for that far post finish, but she wasn't able to glide it goal bound. She certainly had Miranda Templeman beat, but couldn't quite sneak it into that bottom corner. Leakopoulos out to Bagias. On her last legs here, Bagias turns out of danger. Under pressure from Looney. Leakopoulos tries to guide it up the line, but can't quite keep it in. Harrington forward. Massey. Talevski. Back. Popovic forward to Massey. Cuts inside. Talevski. Too much on it for Edwards, not enough on it for Yamada. We'll see Jacewski ploughing forward, and Ace Jacewski with the pace. She'll size Edwards up, but Edwards up for the challenge. She wins that 1v1 battle into the corner. And it'll be a Preston, an Alamein throw. Kane drops it back for Giuseppe, but over the line, says the assistant referee. Into injury time here at Genestil Stadium. Preston Lions trying to get a consolation goal. Alamein trying to keep a clean sheet. Tom's wedge out to Bagias. Bagias forward to Lasky, offside position. Harrington trying to play quickly for Preston. Talevski forward. El Talevski trying to find a teammate, but only goes as far as Kane. Harrington driving forward, Eva Harrington. Out to Tibiali. Another ricochet for Alamein. Helps it on to Miranda Templeton. Tribbiano, second half substitute. Trying to find her feet. Trying to impact the game for the home team. Templeman using all 8 seconds. Kasami out to Bagias. Smart work from Bagias with enough of a dummy to slow down the press of Holly Massey. Yamada for Preston. Ricochet off. Leakopoulos will find Preston another corner. Final minutes of this match. Preston Lions looking for that consolation goal. Alamein, 3 goals to good here at Genesis Steel Stadium. Preston Lions urging their players forward, getting numbers in the box. Not quite waiting long enough for Popovic to join the attack. Clearance from Dustin. Horison out of a goal. Jasewski with the chase. Does enough. Lasky pushed off the ball by some strong work. O'Looney getting the ball forward to Tribbiano. Templeman didn't quite see the run of Percy. Trying to soak up a few seconds of pressure. Valentine Percy hot on her heels. Clearance from Templeman. Harrington unable to control for Preston Lions. To the 5th minute of injury time. Action won't stop here tonight. We've got a second game lined up. Preston Lions battling out with Avondale. And that's the final whistle here at Genesis Steel Stadium. Unfortunately for the hosts, scoreline is Preston Lions 0, Alamein FC 3.